Hi, great people. You are welcome back to Physique Fashion House channel. I am Fola. I'm so glad to have you here in my studio. So today we'll be learning how to make one trendy leaf design for your blouse. And for this project, I've come with my basic body pattern. Then we will need tulle net. We'll be using this beautiful net lace. We'll be needing this doll face bridal satin. We need this paper stay, the thicker one. So it's either you use this or you use this stiff. We call this stiff. You can make use of this. Let me explain this measurements for you. Now we are using 22 inches as our top length. The remaining have an inch for the joining allowance for the down part. Chest line 8 inches, bust point 9.5, under bust length 12.5, half length or waist line 17 inches. Then top length is 22 inches. Then our shoulder length is 7 inches. That is 14 inches divided by 2. Give us 7 inches. That is for the shoulder length. And the chest I'm working with is at 34. I divide it by 4. It gives me 8.5. Then I move to the waist. The waist measurement I'm working with is 26. I divide it by 4. It gives me 6.5. Then I use a 1 inch seam allowance. I may even end up using just half an inch seam allowance for this. So from the waist to my top length, I have 5 inches, and that 5 inches will serve as to create the basket effect. So I'll just connect the top length to the waist. For the chest, the bust measurement, I won't bother to add any measurement, any seam allowance to it because I'm using net for that area. So I just connect this way. So now, because our focus today is basically on leaf, so I won't dwell much on these basic bodies. If you don't know how to draft basic bodies, I will drop a link for that. So let's move on. So now I want to create the empire waist, and to achieve that, on my under bust, I will just come up with half an inch, just this way. As I come up with half an inch, I will move forward with half an inch as well, just this way. Then I'll just cut it out. We don't really need the joining allowance, but when you are making yours, if you are adding the down parts, the skirt parts, ensure that you make use of your hem allowance. So as I come up by half an inch here, on the same line, I come down by 1 inch. Then I connect it with my cuff. Then from this half an inch, I just connect. Then I cut it. So note that when you are cutting it out with your fabric, you are going to half an inch will be added down here, and half an inch will be added to the upper part of this one. So let me just go and cut out the fabric. Now I've cut out my fabric, adding half an inch to the down part here. I use the the two nets to cut the upper part, and I use this lace fabric, I mean net lace, to cut the down part. I added the half an inch to the upper part here, add half an inch to the down part. Then I cut out the back. I use net to cut out the back. So, and the back length is 17 inches. That is the half length. I stop the back at the half length. So for you, you can use this net lace, the same net lace, to do the like half of the back. You can share the back as well and use net lace and plain net. So now the next thing we are going to do now, and I ensure that I use, I mean, I lower the neckline of the back cut. I use like 7 to 8 inches as the depth of my neckline at the back. And for you, you can use you can do the lacing for your back. You use this net lace, then you cut out like 1.5 to 2 inches away, then you do the lacing. If you want to know that, there is a we have video on that, how to lace the back of your top. So the next thing is for me to go and join this now. I'll go ahead and join this, the upper part. This is it. So you can see the effect of empire waist on it. We are going to, this is it, the way it goes. We are going to join it together with the half an inch we used to, for you, you can cut your, you can use your bridle to do to line your net lace. Just this way, you cut it out the same way to line your net lace. I might do that, I may not. So let's go and join the side. After joining the waistline of the front cut together, so I will just go ahead and join the back to the front. Then we continue with our work. Now, here we are. I've gone ahead to join the shoulder of my two nets. Then I've joined the empire waistline together. You can see the effect. So the next thing we want to, I've joined the front and back together. I told you you are good to do the lacing for your back. So the next thing we want to do now is to go straight to the leaf part. To achieve that, I'll be using this bra cup. You're going to fix this bra cup to the bust point. You take note of your bust point, you insert it, then I will just go ahead and use a needle and thread to tack it to the net. Now I've gone ahead to attach my bra cup to our top. The next thing for us to do now is to create the leaf, the pattern for our leaves. And to achieve that, what we do is that we consider the under bust length. So the under bust length for this project is 12 or 12 and a half. So that is, so I'm going to cut out three pieces for the leaves, and the one will be that 12 inches. So I have one here, 12 inches by 5 inches. So the next one that follow, 5 inches by 11 inches. While the third one, this the smallest of it, I mean the smaller one is 5 inches by 9 inches. You can use 5 inches by 8 inches. So, and to create the leaves, what we do is that we get the midpoint of that 5 inches, which is 2.5. We mark it both up and down. Then we connect it by ruling it with a straight ruler. We rule it with straight ruler. We get the midpoint of the line, which is 6 inches, we mark it. So on this 6 inches, we go to the left and right with 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. So down here, we come up by half an inch, and we move to the left and right with quarter of an inch. Then we connect it. Then we now grab our cuff rule. We want to connect the leaves now. So you take this cuff rule. Your cuff rule must touch this midpoint here. Then these 2 inches that you come to the left and right. Then this half an inch that you come up. So that's what your cuff rule should touch. That's your target. Now I'm able to touch 3 of them now. So then I connect it. I do the same thing to the other side by turning my cuff rule this way. So I ensure it touches up here and touch 2 inches here and touch this half an inch that I come up with. I connect it. Yes, this is it. So that is the way I'm going to do for the other two. So getting the midpoints, or everything I do here, that's the way I'm going to do it. So I just cut it out. Before you cut it out, ensure you blend. I don't want this place to sharp like this. You blend it this way. You can use your cuff rule to do that as well. So you can use the smaller part of your cuff rule. So I cut it out. Yeah, this is it. So this is the pattern for our leaves. I'm going to cut the remaining two just this way before I now place it on my fabric and cut it out. Now I've cut out my patterns. These are the 3 patterns. Then the next thing is for me to cut out my fabric. And this is the fabric my door face satin that has been I've fixed gum the interfacing to it. So I gum stiff on this. This is the stiff that I showed you earlier. I gum it on this, and I gum paper stay on this. So I will be cutting out 2 of them. I will use one as lining. I will use one as the main fabric. So you attach your pattern on it. Then I cut it out. Yes, this is it. I will use the same pattern to cut out the one with Steve. This is it. So for this now, I'll be cutting out another one of this. Then I'll making 6. So I'll be cut the Steve as well will be 6. So let me cut out the Steve with this pattern. So here we have the 6 of them. For these 6 we go for one side, so the 12 pieces will be for the 2 sides. So you can see this is the one with Steve, while this is the one with paper stay. So if you're when you are gumming your stiff, if it doesn't want to gum on time, you can just go ahead and use a hem gum to support it. So now the next thing you are going to do now is to grab one of this, then one of this, just this way, and go ahead and stitch it together. So you just go ahead and after stitching it together, go ahead and use your lighter to, you know, just to remove all the edges, the thread that might want to be removing at the edges of the leaves. So that's what you do for it. So after you have now, you can stitch it together or you gum it together. Even you can use this hem gum to gum the two of them together. So anyone that is convenient for you. So let me just go and do that now. Then we now fix the stone on it so that our leaf effect will now be obvious. Yes, having done that, so you place this on it, ensuring it matches. Then you place your hot iron on it. Yes, it's been gummed together. So having done this, to gum your stone, you can choose to use this stone, which I use for this, and you can choose to use a nylon stone that I use for this. The difference there is that this one is faster. So this one you have to be picking it one by one to attach it. So I use this to form a leaf design. You can see how beautiful it looks. So you can go for any one, depends on the choice is yours. So the next thing, having done this, the next thing is to begin to attach our, you know, our leaf to the bodies. So after you have gum your stone on your leaves. Now our leaves has been attached to the net, you know, net lace part. So all I need to do now is to trim this half an inch down here. I'll trim it away. Then I'll place stones on this stitch. Then I will tack these leaves. I will tack it to the cup at the center here so that everything will stand right. So the same thing I did here will be done to this side, and our beautiful um, leaf design top will be ready. I'm sure you have enjoyed this video. Share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and drop your comment on the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.